Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm so happy to have you here with us tonight. We are going to spend some time talking a little bit about mind, body, spirit release. So this is going to be recorded. We're going to send out the recording. I know a lot of people signed up, but I know how it is because I sign up for these things and I always have to watch the video afterwards. It's hard to do stuff at night, especially if you've got little ones or even big ones. My name is Tracy Southwick, and I am the founder of Mind, Body, Spirit Release Academy. I am assuming that the majority, if not all of you, were at ECO, or the people that are live on this, were at ECO last week, and I hope you had a wonderful time. As usual, it was a great conference. I always love that conference. So like I said, I'm the founder of Mind, Body, Spirit Release Academy. I'm not going to go too much into my background, but I've been in this arena of holistic health for over 28 years. And almost a decade ago, I had just been really trying to come up with a way to kind of put together everything that I had learned into a comprehensive tool that I could use in my clinic in Houston called Heights of Health to really help address that interconnectedness of mind, body, and spirit, and just a way to really dive deeply into that connection. And I had been thinking about it and thinking about it, and as happens with a lot of us, I just woke up one morning and said, "Oh, that's how it all fits together," and that was the birth of Mind, Body, Spirit Release. So. I have with me today Cheryl Hensley, who's the Director of Operations. Most people meet her pretty much immediately when they sign up for our classes because she is the interface, or the first interface, and she's a lead instructor. She has been a practitioner at Heights of Health, my clinic, for, over a decade. And then Amanda Mirabella, we have Amanda with us also, who's the program director and lead instructor as well. We have a couple of other instructors, but these are the ones that you will work with mostly. And Amanda works not in Houston. She works remotely now out of Denver, but both of them are amazing women, and I'm so grateful to have them. They keep me afloat and more than one level, that is for sure. So, like I said, we'll be recording this and we'll email it out with any relevant information. If you have any questions, if you'll put them in the Q&A, when we get to the end, we will try to address any questions that we haven't addressed already. Cheryl, did you want to just say hi? And
I just wanted to say hi. I'm super glad that you all are here. I really love Mind, Body, Spirit Release. I remember when Tracy came home. She was living overseas at the time when this all came to her. And I looked at her and I said, I was made for this. It was exactly what I had been looking for. And it has helped change my lives, my family's life, and so many clients. And I'm super glad that you are wanting to learn more about it.
Awesome. Yes. And Amanda, would you like to say hi too?
Absolutely. I echo Cheryl's sentiments completely. And I think that's how most of us feel when we find Mind, Body, Spirit Release. We're like, oh my gosh, this is what I was looking for. So we are so glad you all saw Tracy and felt connected. This resonated with you. And hopefully this helps to answer some of your questions.
Awesome. Thank you both.
All right. Ms. Cheryl, I think you're up.
Yeah, so this is a quote that we love from Candace Pert. And if you don't know who Candace Pert is, she is actually considered the mother of psychoneuroimmunology. And what her work discovered is that peptides were information substances, and that they could affect both the mind and all the bodily functions simultaneously. And she found that these memories and emotions were stored throughout the body, and that it created changes in the cellular structure of the receptors of the peptides. And so we love many of her quotes, but one that your body is the subconscious mind and you can't heal it with talk alone is just such the sentiment of mind, body, spirit release. We have trained many therapists also that implement it into their system, into their practice. But if you're just talking about things, you're not doing something to change the way the subconscious mind reacts and works. And so MBSR allows you to be able to go in and identify that and change the subconscious mind, therefore changing the body, because subconscious mind operates 90, all of our bodily functions is controlled by our subconscious mind.
Beautiful.
So true. So those of you that were at Cell4 have seen a slide similar to this, where I talk about functional medicine being not truly holistic in the sense that I define holistic medicine. So functional medicine is amazing. It's a great improvement on the Western model in terms of looking for more root causes on a biological level, on a biochemical level. But even though it acknowledges that there is a mind, body, spirit connection in the body, there's no real tools that are given to help address those things. So, as you can see here, my working definition of holistic health is this: authentic holistic healthcare recognizes and addresses the importance and interconnectedness of all aspects of health: the spiritual, energetic, emotional, mental, and physical. Isn't that interesting? I put physical last. I didn't realize that, but I really think this is an order of significance, because you've got the higher energy, more dynamic things at the beginning, going down to the more concrete at the end. Not that you don't need to address all of them, but I think it's really important that you address all of them and the interconnectedness of all of that, because we are connected to everyone around us. We are sovereign. We have our own, we've got the power of choice to do things in our lives that actually will affect our own bodies, our own existence, but also because we interact so much with our environment and everyone around us, what we do affects everyone else. It's actually, like I said in my talk, it's a gift that we have for everyone, that we can really improve our vibration or our state in the world, however you want to call it, and that actually can have a positive impact and a ripple effect on the rest of the world. So if you can look at these pictures, you've got holistic health, which is really comprehensive and everything's interconnected. And functional medicine tends to be a little bit more segmented. There's not that crossover. So it works really well with any other kind of medicine. We have, like Cheryl was saying, we do have therapists that use mind, body, spirit release, but we have acupuncturists, medical doctors, chiropractors, a ton of holistic therapists. We even have lay people that go through this and it becomes their practice. So we have a lot of clients that, or not clients, sorry, students that this was so life-changing for them. They actually get trained so that they can work with the doctor that originally worked with them, or fill in a slot within a clinic where, the doctor or the head of the clinic doesn't have the time or the energy or the space to integrate mind, body, spirit release into their own practice. They find someone else within the clinic that can learn it and work with their clients or their patients.
Wonderful. So next, as Tracy mentioned, if you all have seen her pre-talk or saw her speak at ECO, some of this will look familiar to you, but really this is just a very brief overview of some of the things that we talk about in Module 1 of the foundational training. So we like to dive into how imprints of emotions or beliefs can impact our body in different ways. So you'll see there on the right-hand side, memories are stored in, most people know the subconscious mind, right? But also water in our bodies, organs, glands, and tissues in the DNA. And so part of that Module 1 is really diving into how we actually see well-being impacted. And we give actually research and examples of that, real life examples of that as well. So what you see on this left-hand side is actually a clip, an excerpt of one of our muscle testing charts. And so different organs and tissues in the body and emotions that are commonly associated with them. So as Tracy has mentioned before, any emotion can impact any area of the body, but you will notice patterns, right? And so a lot of people know about the liver, which I don't think is listed on here, being associated with anger and similar emotions, the lungs and grief, the lymph, think about it as a flow system, right? And so look at if the lymph is imbalanced, or maybe you're struggling with some of these emotions, you'll see the lymph impacted. And so these are just small examples, but they get you as a person, as a recipient, and as a practitioner to be able to think from a more comprehensive lens, and not just think so kind of isolated in the physical. So that brings us into, what do we do about this, right? And so that is really the essence of why we're talking about mind and body spirit release.
All right. And so mind, body, spirit release, Tracy mentioned during her talk, different ways that you can address emotions in the body, but specifically we wanted to better define what that is. And really it's a modality that helps recognize and release what is pulling you back on the energetic plane. And through muscle testing, we are able to access emotional, mental, spiritual blocks, limiting beliefs, generational blocks, detrimental imprints from stressful events that have occurred in your life, and how that imprints in the subconscious mind and in the body, and how that's stored and unprocessed in the body. And then we use a frequency encoded cold laser. Actually, I have one right here that you can see. And this can be done remotely or in person. And we use it on specific reflex points and meridians and acupuncture points to help open up the energetic flow of the body. And as our flow system opens, we're able to release those imprints and toxins and have the body heal more efficiently and more effectively.
Beautiful, Cheryl. You know what you just made me think of, this is something we talk about in class, is that if you think about, we say a lot, you'll hear practitioners say a lot, we're electrical beings, right? And so something that we discuss in class is that if you think of our body as like a circuit, right? These items that Cheryl was mentioning, emotions that are unprocessed, or beliefs, or, blocks to certain organs or glands, mind, body, spirit release, in essence, what it's doing is it's removing those energetic resistors, right? And so we're allowing the body to flow as it should. Okay.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to talk a little bit about the foundational level. So we have 3 different levels. Anybody who takes the foundational level and becomes certified, after they're certified, can immediately start practicing with mind, body, spirit release. So you can practice at the level in which you are certified. Doesn't mean you can't learn it and do it for yourself, but we really want, and Amanda will talk about this in the next slide, but we really want to craft truly exceptional practitioners. That's one of our taglines. And we really want to shift the way people perceive energy work to where we hold people to a really high standard. So in order to integrate it into a practice where you're being paid, we really want you to maintain that certification so that you're really operating at the highest level. So foundational level is divided into 6 modules. They're all done virtually. So what we do is we will meet with you twice a week for 3 weeks. And in between each meeting, you will receive a pre-recorded video that teaches you what that module is. So we start with the first module, which is really an introduction to energy work and emotional clearing. We go into literally the quantum physics behind it. We want you to be able to understand how energy works, how energy medicine works, how energy clearing works, and be able to explain it to other people. We want to take that mysticism or mystery out of it so that people can understand it and connect with it. So we go deeply into that. There are certain videos that we have you watch in addition to our training. Then we'll meet and have typically about an hour and a half, hour to an hour and a half meeting with everybody, all the students present, where they can ask questions, we can add additional information, and just have a general conversation about what the material was. We call it a community meeting. Second module, we go into teaching energy testing or muscle testing. We teach you how several different techniques, how to test other people, but also how to test yourself and how to test remotely. And we talk about the science, the quantum physics behind how remote testing works. Then you learn how to perform mind, body, spirit release with a little laser that Cheryl taught you, and our kit that has imprints. If you're familiar with, well, Cellcore has kits that have imprints of things as well. We teach you again the proxy clearing, how to clear using surrogates like in person. So if you have a child that comes in and you can't muscle test the child directly, muscle testing through somebody else. And we teach you dysresonance clearing, which is a game changer. That's how to shift the energy between you and someone else. So it could be a family member, somebody that you work with, but it can also be your clients. So when you do that, you kind of create a situation where you're more on the same wavelength, and you get so much more compliance when you have that situation. And it's just amazing to see. It's beautiful to see like relationships change with that dysresonance clearing. We talk about clearing emotional blocks within the organs and glands and the tissues, like Amanda was talking about a minute ago. And we talk about clearing blocks from scars and in the spine. A lot of chiropractors will use that technique, but anybody can use the technique, clearing emotions from the spine. For instance, if somebody had an injury there, those emotions imprint at the time of the injury, and they can, like Amanda was saying, they can create resistance in the flow along the spinal cord. And then we talk about animals. That's one of the fun ones. A lot of people use this for animals, and it works fabulously. And then we end up at the end of that that last module doing a block to prosperity and success. So it's a great tool that you can use with your clients as well as yourself. Then once you're finished with the class, and you do have homework in most of these modules that you are required for certification to turn in, we just want to make sure that we're all on the same page and that we have a high level of understanding of the material. Then you do a certification test, a written test after that to become certified, as well as recording some videos of you, and they're not stressful or anything. We just want to make sure that you understand the process of doing these clearings. And did I miss anything, Cheryl and Amanda, that you wanted to add about foundational level?
I was just going to say, I think you briefly touched on this, but someone also asked this in advance. The module format, how long those recordings typically are, like how long do you need to set aside to be able to watch those class videos. And so this is true for the bulk of the lessons, as Tracy was saying, that they are recorded, so you can watch in advance and then we discuss. On average, they're anywhere from 35 minutes, and there's a few that are about an hour and a half. So that's about how long it takes to watch the module videos. Usually practitioners will go back and rewatch them, right? Because they're really dense and rich with information. But that's about how long to kind of set aside. Those community support calls that Tracy was talking about, they always take place on Tuesdays and Fridays. It's really important that you do attend those live. And so, make sure it's at a time that you're not, gone for 3 of the 4 of them or something like that. If you miss, one of them, or if you have something going on, just let us know. It's not the end of the world. As she mentioned, those are recorded and we send those out, which is to make sure you get the most out of the experience. It's really helpful if you're able to commit to those. Cheryl, did I forget anything, or Tracy?
I did, but thank you so much for bringing that up. I forgot to do that, but I did want to bring up the reason we do it in the format that we do. We used to have them only live, and the classes would go like 3 hours long sometimes, because it's so much, like Amanda said, it's so dense with information. It's not overwhelming, and we have a manual that goes with it, so you can read along and get all kinds of information and take notes and with tons of handouts and great supports, information as well. But we want you to be able to stop the recording and go back and re-listen to something if it didn't make sense to you versus trying to digest all this information in one quick, not quick, but 1 3-hour call. So it tends to work much better with people. They feel a lot more confident with the information and can reach out before class or after class if they have questions. But typically in the class, we're able to answer all those questions. And always we're able to answer all those questions if people are able to be on the class. And everything is recorded, and Amanda will talk later about where that's recorded and how that's done. So Amanda, you can move on to
Absolutely.
advanced.
Go on to advanced. So as Tracy mentioned, it follows the same exact format of, the pre-recorded module lesson videos, and we still meet on Tuesdays and Fridays. In the advanced level, you have 4 classes where we go over this material. And I think Tracy mentioned this, but there is homework that Cheryl and I review after not all, but a lot of the module lessons. And so we'll provide you feedback and answer questions and things like that. The biggest shift, this is the biggest jump from foundational to advanced. And what we start off doing is teaching you ideomotor testing, or that's pendulum testing, which you see in this picture here. And the reason why that's so helpful in this level is because we transition you from muscle testing from vessels, or some people call them vials, or the glass imprints like Cellcore uses, into using charts, because we're able to test from so much more data. And so Cheryl often says that with each level, we're adding more depth and complexity, which is very true. So you'll see listed here, these are some examples. We call them testing charts. So we add a lot more emotions that you can muscle test from. Cheryl, the last time you counted, wasn't it around 1,500 emotions, something like that?
Yeah. Over 1,500 different emotions.
So it's adding a lot to what you can muscle test from, limiting beliefs in different categories, limiting beliefs around success, money, body image, health, love, all of those things. Hormones and neurotransmitters, organs, glands, and tissues. We've mentioned that before. This is an expanded list. Body systems, people and places. You can have, as Tracy was talking about, dysresonance with people, you can have a dysresonance with place as well, or just hold the memory or have the imprint of certain associated emotions. And then lastly, how to identify events that might have been troublesome for you. And so with this, and Cheryl will talk about this in just a moment, we're looking at different ways that the body is storing or retaining these cellular memories, right? It's all of this comes down to how is the body processing energy, or what is the disruption to the flow of energy. So that's really what you're getting into here with this advanced level. It's just more detail and more complexity. Cheryl and Tracy, anything I forgot with that?
I think just one other change that we do from advanced and then we grow on it in professional is the intention, which Amanda teaches in there. But it's to give a framework for the subconscious mind to be able to identify those identify those blocks that are around that intention. And the more clear your intention is, right, the more clear and defined what those blocks could be. And we also, one other thing I just thought of too, is we look at these things, and we also learn how to layer that information together. And look at, with a limiting belief, there could be emotions that go along with that belief, or and just layer that so we get a better understanding of the emotional landscape that's going on in the body. Anything else, Tracy, for the advance before I move on?
No, that was perfect.
So then the professional level, we love all the levels, but this level, like I said, we teach a little bit more in depth about how to create more robust intentions. But we also look at generational blocks. What is it that we brought in from our ancestry that is affecting us? Just like we can have physical traits, we can have emotional things that are passed on that are contributing to health issues or whatever it might be, that's not even ours. And it's really exciting and interesting to see that, people will be like, oh, I never really felt like that, but I never felt like that was mine, or they were, born into a family that was a certain way and they never really felt that, but kind of clouded over. So we look at that. And then we look at spiritual blocks also, and spiritual blocks meaning, what is it that is keeping us from our highest and best self? What is that? What are those blocks that are keeping us from having that true connection to source? We are not delving into anything about the occult or any things of entities and stuff like that. It is just really like, what is our highest and best self, and being that spirit of the mind, body, spirit. And then we look at many different ways to look at the body and determine how blocks are. We look at meridians and miasms and elements and chakras. And chakras really being like nerve centers that are in the body. So all the different ways that there's many different ways to look at the body that different practices look at, we incorporate that in and teach you ways to how to utilize that for mind, body, spirit release. And then we also look at paradigms, like big overarching views of the world, and then relationships and connections. And that you may think it's like relationships with people, which it could be, but it's more how two different things come together and are creating a block. So it could be something with like your relationship with letting go is blocked by shame, or your relationship with now, and there's like 40 of them. I can't think of any, but like of
With work, it could be your relationship with work is, yeah. What would be, how could you do that? What would be a good example? Because I'm not coming up with it either.
I know, it's because we're on the spot.
Relationship with work is stressed by time, right? That could be one.
Oh, say that again, Amanda. You were cut off at the beginning.
No problem. A relationship is work is stressed by time. That's an example of one. There's a million of them, which is why it's hard to think of them on the spot.
You just picked that up for me.
Yeah,
right?
That's right.
So yes, and you know what? One of the examples, I wanted to throw this out there, Cheryl, because I love how you describe the spiritual blocks. An example of a spiritual block that you brought up earlier is blocks to forgiveness. Or stuck in the past or stuck in the future. So if you're stuck in the future, you can't be present and you can't connect with whatever spiritual path that you're on, because it causes anxiety. You're so focused on the future. So we help people not only let go of those things, you have to recognize it first before you let go. And one of the things that kind of sets us apart, I think, from a lot of the other energy, well, there are a lot of things that set us apart, but a lot of the other kind of emotional work out there is that we could teach our practitioners tools that they share with their clients and their patients, so that they know they can get out of the pattern or out of the habit of being in that space. So, you can let go of something, but it doesn't mean you won't keep taking it back unless you learn a different way to live. And that's just part of the whole program, is teaching people how to recognize, release, and learn how to create new habits and new patterns that serve you and that make you a lot healthier and have better relationships with yourself and with those around you.
Wonderful. Cheryl, are we capped off the professional? Great. Okay, wonderful. So Tracy mentioned this earlier. It is really our desire to help our practitioners and help clients really understand energy work, because there's a lot of modalities out there, and some people come with the fear of, is this kind of it might be there a resistance, is this kind of a new age modality, right? Or I didn't have a good experience with energy work in the past. It made me feel this way. What is this like? And for practitioners, as Tracy said, actually, it's one of our mottos is crafting unparalleled practitioners. And so something that I talk about in class is that when I was in grad school, I worked at Heights of Health and then I apprenticed, and I had 5 or 6 mentors in the practitioners at Heights of Health, which was invaluable to me as a new practitioner and someone looking to expand my practice and really get that experience, because you don't know what you don't know, right? And so that really having the wisdom of these women who have been in practice for decades. And so we can't necessarily provide that same exact experience, but it really is important to us that during class, we have a lot of hands-on support, and after class, we still are enriching your knowledge and experiences afterwards. So you can kind of see here some of the tenets and the applications for this is that we actually roll out of best practices. So as practitioners, kind of what's the expectation to hold a really good session and provide a good experience. And then we actually require all practitioners to sign and agree to a code of ethics, which you can see this online. It's listed online right there for everyone to see, practitioners and clients alike. And this is not restrictive at all. It's really, as Tracy said, to uphold the best standard of care so that when people experience MBSR, it's very consistent. They know what to expect and anticipate, and they have fantastic results with this. And then something I'll talk about in the next slide is certification and recertification. So we're pouring into you consistently, not just, for, I don't know, several weeks, but it's ongoing, and there's that continued growth and development. So Cheryl and Tracy, anything to add to this before I go on?
No, I think that's great.
Lovely. Well, this slide, mentorship, community, and continuing education. So as I was just mentioning, it's a super high value for us as practitioners and within Mind, Body, Spirit Release Academy. And so we host all of our course material on Kajabi, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. And so it's an online teaching platform, and it makes it really easy because we do provide a lot of videos and links and handouts and articles and resources. It just makes it really easy as you're going through it and working through that. And so within Kajabi, it's built in, we have a private community forum. And so we'll just make you aware of updates and community events and gatherings and have people ask questions. If you're wanting to make referrals, there's just lots of different ways that we use that. And we realized when we first started MBSR Academy that I don't know why it didn't dawn on us right away, but we were so truly blessed. It sounds maybe a little cliche, but with the community that we have. And so that's one of the things that we've wanted to pour into the most, is that it's just, it really is so enriching for us to be able to meet and, kind of continue the conversation. And, as we all met at ECO, and we'll host other events like that too. So as far as, continuing the development, basically how this works, when you say, let's say you go through all the levels and you've become certified in levels 1, 2, and 3. After that point, when you're certified in level 3 and you have practiced for a full year, then you'll be up for recertification. So what that looks like is you'll have a one-on-one mentorship session with Cheryl or myself. And eventually we'll probably had to add someone else in to help us with these, but this mentorship session, again, it's just an individualized experience. It is not stressful. It's not high stakes. It's not intense. Cheryl and I have absolutely loved doing them. And really what we do is we have the practitioner demonstrate competency in that level in which they're certified. And we just provide support and insight, and they can ask questions and look for advice, all of that. And so that session is 90 minutes, and it is an additional fee of $200. So that's only for the first year after recertification. As you can see on the right, after that, after the first year, you only have to become recertified every 2 years. And so we model this after continuing education, right? If you're a part of a board, you're very familiar with this. And so we created modules. That's the format for this. And so these modules are meant to enrich your practice or expand it in some way. And so an example of some of the modules we have energy flow in the body, creating a personalized supplement protocol. We actually just rolled out one about marketing. One of our practitioners, Lindsay, she has launched several really successful online businesses. And so she built this amazing module about how to market your MBSR practice. Those are just a few. Cheryl's how to properly run group clearing, group MBSR sessions, and there will be more, right? So those are just some. So with what we have published right now, those modules that you can purchase are they're about $250 to $500. And that's just based on the amount of information or material you're getting. So again, this recertification is you only have to do this every 2 years. Do not feel like you have to memorize this information. Basically, all of what we're talking about, you'll find information about this online. We try to make it accessible for you, and we talk to you about it plenty in class and explain it, and we help you along the way. This is just so you know ahead of time kind of what the expectations are. And Tracy and Cheryl, what do we have to add?
We have a COVID module. That's another module that we have. Yeah, and that's for people who have had COVID or who have had the jab. And it's literally just going through and looking at lots of different parts of the body that can be affected with either one, and what emotions might be connected to them, and kind of looking at that from a holistic standpoint. We've had some pretty amazing testimonials of people, with long COVID having, remission of their symptoms. I shouldn't say remission, healing of their symptoms. And neat stuff like that. So that's all the modules I can think of right now. Okay. So there is the option, and I mentioned this earlier, obviously you can take this course yourself. If you don't have the time or the availability, you can, and you have somebody in your office or clinic that is interested in it, that's a great route too. A lot of people who are like life coaches will take this, and they work for a doctor or any kind of doctor, or somebody who already has an existing practice. But if that's not an option for you, there are a couple of other ways you can look at it. On our website for Mind, Body, Spirit Release, there's a Find a Certified Practitioner button. And this isn't all of our certified practitioners. These are just the ones that chose to be on the website. If you're certified, you get that. As long as you're certified, you get to be on the website, housed there under the highest level of your certification. The great thing about this is it kind of highlights what your specialty is. So we have one practitioner who is doing wonderful things with learning disabilities, and using MBSR, Mind, Body, Spirit Release, with children, I think, and adults as well, and having great success with learning disabilities. So if you're looking for someone that specializes in a certain area, that's a great resource for you too. Or if you're looking for somebody to be in person and you really want this to be an in-person event, you can look and find somebody that might be located near you, so you can send your clients there. Another option is a referral program that we have at Heights of Health, my clinic, that is, you can go to that website, and up at the top it says MBSR referral program. Click on that and learn, get some more information. We'll send a link to that in the email that we send out after this with the recording. But essentially it's, you refer people to us. We work only, and it's actually the two only master practitioners, which Cheryl and Amanda are. And they will work only on Mind, Body, Spirit Release. This is not a program. We're not trying to take clients or patients away from people. We want to work with them to help whatever it is that's your specialty. We want to help you be as successful as possible. And we've all had this issue, and this is probably what spurred me to do Mind, Body, Spirit Release, is you doing all the right things. They're eating the right diet, they're exercising, they're doing their saunas, they're doing their red light therapy, they're taking all the supplements, you've done all the blood work. You know that what you're doing is supposed to be working, and it's not. And that's when it's really oh my goodness, I really need to address, there's something I'm missing. And we see that a lot with people, and all of a sudden you start working with them with Mind, Body, Spirit Release, and all the amazing modalities that you are doing start working, because you've removed that resistance out of the flow. system in the body, and all of a sudden the body starts going, oh, yay, I have the energy to heal and I have the ability to heal. So it's a beautiful thing to pair all of that together. But, some of you might just want to learn it because you're interested in incorporating it into your existing practice, or that might be the area that you want to go into. We think that's wonderful, and we welcome all of that. So feel free to look at the referral program information if that's something that might appeal to you, or the find a certified practitioner page if that is the route you'd want to take. Cheryl, Amanda, did I miss anything?
I was just going to add on that this works both ways, right? Cheryl and I, especially when we get to meet with you all through recertification. I just did a session the other day with one of our practitioners, Suzanne, and she was telling me about really what's on her heart, who she likes to work with, the population of people. So for her, that's what she says, empty nesters, right? And for women, kind of that menopausal area. And so it's just like she has such a specialty and such an area of focus. So, I say, Cheryl and Tracy, if you have clients that you want to refer out, Suzanne will be perfect for that. And so we love doing that as well. And like Tracy was talking about, Bree, that's her client who works with people with learning disabilities. So we love doing that for you as well, and just supporting you in your area of specialty.
Yeah, absolutely. We want people to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that we see with people, especially when you've got the client that comes in that's in like serious cell danger response, you just can't, they're so sensitive, you can't get them to even take, half of a binder without getting a severe headache. That those are people that, whether it's going to someone else or to us, those are the people that really need to start with the emotional work. And Amanda, you've got a client that's like that now, and now she's able to start taking supplements and really, really having a great shift.
Yeah, exactly right.
So wonderful.
Oh, and so these are some of our testimonials. If you go to our website, we have a lot of testimonials, and we're going to be updating that very soon for MBSR sessions and people who have received such great beneficial effects from it, and then also the Academy and our course. And I loved how when Tracy spoke at ECO, she talked about the success of practitioners that we had trained in their practice. And we talked about ours, but we also wanted to include that. And it's just so wonderful being an instructor and working with so many people and hearing everyone's like great success stories. But I just wanted to read through these. The first one about an MBSR session. And it says, to be honest, I don't know if I have the words to describe what I've experienced the last few months. I started this journey thinking I'd fix a few problems. I had no idea I would be leaving behind a life of labels. Not only have my sinuses responded, but the relationships with my kids, husband, friends, and family members have drastically improved. And I'll also just drop it here that I am a former celiac working on gluten reintroduction. Grateful. I am just grateful. And so as you can see, we get to hear those stories all the time. And it's so amazing. We experience them and we hear them. And so every day I'm always just so grateful that this is the realm that I'm working in and helping. And then, of course, I love hearing the testimonials about the Academy and the training that we provide, because we all have our hearts so deeply in it. And it comes from such a place of belief and love. And so this is from one of our practitioners that we trained. I am so grateful that I have found the Mind, Body, Spirit Release training. It has shifted so much in both my personal life as well as the success of my business. This healing modality has impacted so many of my clients. I work with many women healing from chronic illness, and the emotional subconscious realm is one that deeply affects their physical health. By working through their emotional world via MBSR sessions, they have experienced profound physical healing effects that have changed their lives. I am beyond grateful for the MBSR team for bringing this modality to the world. And I just want to say something like this is something that we've practiced in our clinic for many years. And when Tracy actually spoke at ECO in 2020 and was encouraged by some of the CellCore team to teach other people this modality. And so that's what it was, where it was created out of.
So grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
Love those.
Thank
Well,
you, Cheryl.
thank you. Yes, Cheryl. And we will, our website, actually, we just launched our new website. And so they're still under construction a little bit. But you'll see soon there will be testimonials for the people, their experience with their clients using MBSR as a modality, and then MBSR Academy as a whole. And it's just, we feel so fortunate. So for our upcoming classes, we have a class starting in a few weeks, a foundational class. You'll see those dates listed there. As we mentioned, we meet live for those community calls on Tuesday evenings and Friday mornings. We also have a class in August, and you'll see on our website where you will find this information is under the practitioner training tab. When you're going to purchase these classes and sign up, it's under the shop tab. One thing that's important to know about these classes is that we do cap them. We cannot have too many students because we can't provide that same level of care and intention. So they're not super large, because this is, for the most part, the team you're getting. We have a couple more support staff. And so it's really important to us that we don't have these giant classes, and no one feels like they're getting that intensive kind of support and care. Cheryl, do you want to talk about the specials?
Yes, so we are running some specials for CellCore. And we always, for the foundational, when we launch a new class, we always have like an early bird special, but this goes above that for more savings. And it will be active. It's active now through June 7th. And it is for the June class and the August foundational class. And from our Mind, Body, Spirit Release website, you can click on a link that will take you to our registration page. And then when you are filling out the information, there will be a spot there to type in a code. And if you just type in CellCore, it will take $250 off the price.
Perfect. And you probably already know this already, but here's how to get a hold of. Is there anything, Cheryl?
No, you were just muted.
Okay, got it. So here, mindbodyspiritrelease.com, that's our website, easy. Here's one of the emails. We have several that will correspond with you, but training at mindbodyspiritrelease.com, that will go to Cheryl. And so if you have questions about registration or discounts, or she will ship actually all of your materials, that will go to Cheryl. And of course, here's our Instagram. It's easier if you have questions for us, please just email us instead. It's easier if it goes directly to me or Cheryl. So Tracy and Cheryl, anything to add to that before I'll end the shared screen? If you can go to the Q&A, but anything to add on?
No, that's great. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you all for listening. I just pulled up the Q&A. So we have a couple of questions here, and feel free if you want to add something, type your question in. So Kelly asks, I was wondering how you put together the program, as it is not traditional ND training. That's true. i.e., what training material did you draw on? That is that's a great question. We kind of, to be honest, that first year we built the plane while we were flying it. We worked, and Amanda can answer this too. We worked with what we knew, trainings we had done. When I originally went to school as a traditional naturopath, we didn't have any online anything. It was all, classes that we would, or seminars that we would intensive seminars we'd go to, and then we would take classes and take tests and mail them in and have to wait 6 weeks to get the answers back, that kind of stuff. So that wasn't really relevant to what we were doing. So I had been training my practitioners how to do mind, body, spirit release for many years. So that was kind of the training that I had built over the years. It was probably the foundation. And then we learned as we went, okay, this is working, this is not working. So we finally feel like probably in the last year, we have come to a place that really works, and we're always learning. That's how life is. And I say that, sometimes I learn more from my students than they'll ever learn from me, because, the questions they ask, and it's thought provoking and helps us to grow and be better teachers and be better practitioners. So I hope that answers your question. Let me know if it does not, if you're looking for a different answer, if I went down a completely different rabbit hole.
I had nothing to add to that, Tracy. I was just
Oh, you
trying to
didn't?
get off.
Okay.
Yeah. I just hit the wrong
Okay.
button is all. Did you see the second
Awesome.
question?
Yes. How long
Okay.
are the group classes on Tuesday and Friday? How many minutes to block off? That's a great question. Typically we go at an hour to an hour and a half. That first, I know for foundations, that first class tends to be only about an hour. If you have to log off early, it's always recorded, so you can always go back and listen to it. But I think with those community classes where we're all live, Cheryl, Amanda, tell me if I'm wrong, but they tend to be no longer than an hour and a half, unless we get some real chatty people in there, which sometimes that's a lot of fun. And one of the things I wanted to add is I actually had a client come in today who came through all 3 levels of our class, and she just mentioned to me that she had connected with Lindsay, who did the business module, and they just really had a heart connection. And they apparently are good friends now and talk all the time. And we see that all the time through our classes, because we do pair people up. So you're going to be connected with like-minded people, and we try to pair people up that we feel are similar, because you kind of get a feel for people. It doesn't always work out that way, or that live in the same area. So we have people that we've trained all over the world. So we've trained people in Australia and Europe and Africa and Canada and the United States. And so if somebody is from San Diego and there's another person from San Diego that they're working together, we will pair them up, because we want them, if they hit it off, we want them to be able to have that support system in person. The start time for the classes, Brandy, thanks for asking that. So it's all Central Time, because we're located in Houston. We start at 6 o'clock on Tuesday night and at 10 a.m. on Friday morning. So 6 o'clock on Tuesday night, 10 a.m. on Friday morning. And yes, we will be offering classes later in the year. I think we already have them scheduled. I'm sure Cheryl or Amanda, I see the way Cheryl's looking, I can tell she's looking at the schedule. So we can tell you when the classes are. I know we've got one maybe in October.
Yeah, let me look.
I just put up so you can see for the foundational level, of course, June, but then August. Here's the August, September class. And we post on our website other dates that we have available. We try to do, 1 or 2 a season, if you will. So we'll keep you posted on that.
Yeah.
And then, I'm sorry, Cheryl.
Sorry, no, go on.
You will see on our website, this will be live in a couple of weeks. If the class is full, or if you can't make that class with those dates, you can add yourself to a wait list right now. That isn't live, so you can just send us an email and we'll kind of pencil you in and notify you of later dates.
Perfect. I was looking for those dates in October. I thought they were October.
They were, yeah, but that's the advanced.
Advanced. Okay. And then professional.
Oh,
Okay.
it might be.
We'll have to look.
It could be that's the last, and then we'll do it the beginning of January.
Probably the beginning of January. If not, if there are enough people on the waiting list and enough people, so email Cheryl, because I know Cheryl wants to do all this, but if email her and just say, I can't take these dates. If there are enough people, that are interested and can't you do these dates, or enough people that are on the wait list, we'll find a time, do our best to find a time that we can open up the another class. Yeah, it might be a little different timing. I don't know, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, so Kathy asked, how is this similar to Bradley Nelson's emotion code? We get that question a lot. We actually have a lot of emotion code, body code people that come through our class. And there's a lot more depth and complexity. Bradley Nelson's work is amazing, amazing. I actually, interestingly, after I learned or created, didn't learn it, Mind, Body, Spirit Release is when I started looking into emotion code and body code. And I think he has done some amazing things. What we look at is a little bit more, has more, in my opinion, complexity, not meaning that it's harder to do, but you're delving into areas that you can't with emotion code or body code. So you're delving into things like spiritual blocks, generational blocks, tying up neurotransmitters with limiting beliefs. I mean, we have, tons and tons of limiting beliefs in our charts, or like we were talking about earlier, relationships and the chakras. There's just a lot more information to draw from. So a session typically takes, once you get into that level 2 and level 3, more time to uncover the issues and to create or paint that picture of what's going on with the body on a comprehensive level. And we do go into events, and I think I mentioned generational blocks. So I think there are some videos online of us doing sessions. Do we post that, or are we re-recording that, Cheryl?
It is not posted yet, the fast one.
Yeah. So
It
So
just
you'll
hasn't.
see- Oh, I'm
we
sorry. I
will-
was just going to
okay.
say,
So we've
if
got
you
one
go,
where you can do like a sped up video of all the stuff that we look at and all the different charts.
it's also, you'll see other demonstrations or where Tracy walks through it. If you go to the practitioner training tab, there's a little drop down and it will say training demonstration. So there's not the full sped up version, but you'll see that as well.
Yeah, and there's a lot more for probably the foundational level, which is foundational level is closer to body code, emotion code than the advanced and professional. It's done a very different way, but it is closer to that for sure. And Kelly says, how do you make the vials that we use for testing? We actually have a bioresonance technology. Actually, the ones that we do now, we have a bioresonance technology that would imprint frequencies on water, because water can hold frequencies, probably the same way Cellcore does it for a lot of their imprints. But we also have a homeopathic generator that can do kind of a 1-to-1 copy of something. So we can take a master copy and then copy that emotion, the frequency of that healthy organ plus that emotion into a new imprint.
Mhm.
Okay.
And one of the other
Yeah.
things that I just thought of too, that we teach are a lot of different energy clearing techniques and energy protection techniques
Yes.
and such too. There's several different exercises that we teach in the class.
Yeah, that's huge for a lot of people, because a lot of people are very empathic that go into this work, right? I mean, you understand how important emotions and frequencies and limiting beliefs will affect your body and your health. And so when you start going into that, we want to make sure that you're doing it from a space where you're not going to get negatively affected. Okay, awesome. Any more questions before we let you guys go? Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it so much. And please reach out if you have any questions. Like I said, we'll send the recording out to you guys. I think Cheryl has the list. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to buffer, so don't expect it till tomorrow, but we'll send those links to the different things that we spoke about as well. Oh, looks like there's a question. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Michelle, so much. So wonderful. I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and thank you for being here with us and taking time out of your precious evening time. It means a lot to us, and hope you have a great week.